One of my favorite videos is the mask study one, where you've got the Lysol, the book, and what seems to be a very effective mask. Talk me through your inspiration for that video and your overall creative thought process going into that one.
Well, that was the first thing. I'll let you take it, but that was the first thing that we did in the first day of working together. It was me and John Levin, who's another director, also comes. So Josh and I both come from a physical theater background, as does John. And so we were playing with something. We were like, what feels now? And Josh had this giant bottle of Lysol in this chair. And we were like, okay, here are some ideas. Josh, take it away.
Yeah, I also had this mask. And the mask was something that was lying around my apartment just by happenstance because it was a prop that I had purchased for some opera that I was directing in a parking garage in Harlem some years ago. And so I had it. And immediately once I had painted the closet and said, this is a performance space, I remembered that I had this mask and suddenly was like, oh, this is like a clown. It's like a Soviet gas mask, really. Where is it? Somewhere.
I'm kind of hoping we could show people this mask because it is not a normal mask. If it's not right there, we'll link to it in the bio.
It is right there.
Not the N95.
I mean, this is all in Josh's apartment, so everything is right there.
Yeah. So it's an old Soviet, I think like 80s gas mask. And I felt like immediately it evoked everything we were going through at that moment, where it was kind of like dystopia, even grocery shopping for toilet paper, and everyone was wearing masks suddenly. And I was like, oh, well, that's just a natural extension of that. In some ways, the same way that the closet's a natural extension of all of these boxes that we're all stuck in, like right now on Zoom. And so I immediately knew that this was sort of my, clown or like my mascot of the closet.
Great.
So we've got the mask. It's a very tight-fitting mask. I was surprised when I guess a gas mask has to be though. So you both come from physical theater. I assume that most of the time you've got a stage to act on. Here we've got Josh's closet. What does that added variable of like tight constraint, I think you said 8 cubic feet, add to this? What do you have to consider? And kind of what does it do in terms of creativity? Like how does it contribute to creativity? I'm sure you could tell me how it detracts from it, what you can't do. But what I want to hear is what have you been inspired to do because you have so little space?
I mean, you have to embrace the limitations, right? I mean, we're all trapped in our apartments or our homes. And I think this was just a way for us to really sense those boundaries and to realize that we could like push off against them and to see how far we could like spin it all out and find like liberation and possibility within limits. And so that's kind of what the entire project has been about from the get-go.
Mm-hmm. And we also found new ways to collaborate, which is something that we haven't sort of ever really been able to do, is that we can keep working with people on Zoom, bringing collaborators, other people to tell Josh what to do in that closet. And we're also able to, and what's really cool too, is that we're able to collaborate with people like all over the world. We just worked with a French choreographer, which was so thrilling. And they were able to stay in the comforts of their own home and their own time zone, which is really cool. And also that we're able to make our work more accessible than it ever has been, because we're doing it on YouTube and because we're doing it in the comfort of people's own home, still using our tools as theater makers, but to just like bring it on a scale that that people know.